Today, I want to talk about something I personally think is incredibly cool. Plants that are able to grow completely in water without any soil involved whatsoever. If you've ever had a plant slowly fade away because you forgot to water it, or if you're simply tired of dealing with messy dirt, spilled soil, and heavy potting mixes, then this topic is absolutely for you. Water-grown plants remove a lot of the stress and guesswork that comes with traditional plant care. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 different plants that don't just survive when grown in water. They genuinely thrive in it. These plants adapt amazingly well to a soil-free environment. And the best part is that they look stylish and decorative at the same time. Before we dive into the list, if you enjoy simple, low-maintenance plant care content like this, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps more people discover these tips, and I truly appreciate every bit of support. All right, let's jump right in with number 1, Lucky Bamboo. Despite what the name suggests, Lucky Bamboo isn't actually bamboo at all. It's a type of Dracaena, but it has been grown in water for hundreds of years, particularly in many Asian cultures. You've almost certainly seen Lucky Bamboo before, in restaurants, office buildings, hotel lobbies, or waiting rooms, often arranged in decorative shapes or bundled together in creative designs. What makes Lucky Bamboo such an excellent choice is how accessible and forgiving it is. It's inexpensive, extremely easy to find, and it can live happily in nothing but water for years at a time. You'll spot it at garden centers, home improvement stores, and sometimes even in grocery stores. Most of the time, you can purchase individual stalks for just a few dollars each, making it a very budget-friendly option. Once you bring a few stalks home, all you need to do is place them in a vase or container. Add decorative stones, pebbles, or glass marbles to help keep the stalk standing upright. Then fill the container with enough water to fully cover the roots. That's really all there is to it. Here's a quick money-saving tip. Skip the expensive pre-arranged Lucky Bamboo displays. Instead, buy single stalks and create your own arrangement at home. You'll usually spend about half as much, and you can customize the look to match your personal style and space. Caring for Lucky Bamboo is about as simple as plant care gets. Keep the water level roughly an inch above the roots, and replace the water every 2 to 3 weeks to keep it fresh. Lucky Bamboo prefers low to medium light, which makes it an ideal plant for offices, bedrooms, or rooms that don't receive much direct sunlight. If you notice the leaves starting to turn yellow, that's usually a sign that the plant is getting too much direct sun, or that the water contains chlorine. Simply move it to a spot with softer indirect light and switch to filtered or distilled water, and the plant should recover without much trouble. Now let's move on to number 2, Philodendron. Elegant, simple, and very hard to mess up. That's the best way to describe philodendrons. Philodendrons grow extremely well in water, and there are countless varieties to choose from. You'll find classic options like the heartleaf philodendron, along with more eye-catching varieties such as the Brazil philodendron, which features beautiful variegated leaves. These tropical plants are known for their smooth, glossy foliage, and when they're placed in clear glass containers, they create a clean, modern, and visually striking display. To get started, all you need to do is take a cutting from the plant just below a node. The node is the small, slightly raised bump along the stem where leaves and roots naturally form. Once you've made the cut, Simply place the stem into a container of water. Before long, you'll notice tiny roots beginning to appear. After the roots develop, the plant continues to grow and trail downward, creating a long, flowing look that can live happily in water for the long term without any issues. Here's a simple care tip that can save you a lot of frustration. Philodendrons don't respond well to cold water. Whenever you change the water, especially during the colder months, make sure the water is at room temperature. Cold water can shock the roots, which may slow growth or stress the plant. Swap out the water every 1 to 2 weeks and keep the plant in medium to bright indirect light for the best results. One thing you'll want to keep an eye on is leaf color. If the leaves begin turning yellow, the plant may be running low on nutrients. Since there's no soil to provide minerals, you'll need to give it a little extra support. Add a liquid fertilizer once every month or two, but make sure it's heavily diluted. About 1/4 strength works perfectly. Too much fertilizer in water can actually harm the plant because there's nothing to absorb the excess nutrients. Here's a money-saving bonus I really love. A single philodendron can easily turn into several plants. Every cutting you take has the potential to become a brand new plant in just a couple of weeks. Once you own one healthy plant, you're basically set up for an endless supply of free plants. Now let's move on to number 3, Coleus, the color champion of water-grown plants. If you're craving bold, dramatic color, Coleus is the perfect choice. This plant comes in some truly wild color combinations: purple mixed with green, red paired with yellow, pink blended with burgundy, and even varieties so dark they appear almost black. What makes Coleus even better is how incredibly easy it is to root and grow in water. All you need to do is take a cutting from an existing Coleus plant, remove the lower leaves, and place the stem in water. Within just a few days, you'll start to see roots forming. Coleus grows quickly in water and continues producing those vibrant, colorful leaves as long as it receives enough light. Here's a smart money-saving move. Fully grown Coleus plants can be fairly expensive, but because cuttings root so easily, you can often get them for free. If you spot a beautiful Coleus at a friend's house or somewhere that allows cuttings, simply ask for a small piece. One small cutting can turn into a full, lush plant in only a few weeks. When it comes to care, Coleus needs bright light to maintain strong, vivid color. In low light conditions, the colors fade and the plant becomes stretched out and leggy. Place it near a bright window, but avoid harsh afternoon sun, which can burn or wash out the leaves. Change the water every week and pinch back the growing tips every few weeks to encourage a fuller, bushier shape instead of tall, thin stems. Number 4, Begonia, the surprising water grower. Not every begonia thrives in water, but many types do, especially Rex begonias and wax begonias. These plants are famous for their stunning foliage, often featuring metallic sheens, swirling patterns, and bold colors that look almost hand-painted by an artist. You can start a begonia in water by taking a stem cutting or even a single leaf with a small piece of stem attached. Place it in water and give it time. Begonias tend to root more slowly than some of the other plants on this list, sometimes taking 3 to 4 weeks. But once the roots develop, they grow steadily and reliably. Here's an important care secret. Begonias love humidity, even when grown in water. If the air in your home is dry, especially during winter, you may notice the edges of the leaves turning brown and crispy. An easy solution is to group several water-grown plants together, which naturally increases humidity. You can also place the container on a tray filled with pebbles and water. As the water evaporates, it adds moisture to the air without letting the plant sit directly in water. Begonias prefer bright, indirect light and need fresh water every 7 to 10 days. They're slightly more finicky than some of the other plants, but the dramatic foliage makes the extra effort completely worth it. Once you have one begonia thriving in water, you can continue taking cuttings and expand your collection without spending any extra money. Number 5. Tradescantia, also known as inch plant, the fast-growing standout. Tradescantia, sometimes called inch plant or spiderwort, is one of the fastest-growing plants you can grow entirely in water. It comes in a variety of eye-catching forms, with deep purple leaves, green and white stripes, or even soft pink and silver color combinations. The leaves have a subtle shimmer that catches the light, giving the plant a slightly glossy, almost glowing appearance. Getting started couldn't be easier. Cut a healthy stem about 4 to 6 inches long, remove the leaves from the bottom section, and place the stem in water. Within about a week, roots will begin to form, and soon after, new leaves will start appearing. This plant grows so quickly that regular trimming is important if you want it to stay full instead of becoming long and leggy. Here's another great money-saving tip. Tradescantia is already affordable, but because it propagates so easily, you really only need to buy one plant. In just a month, you can have cuttings growing in water throughout your home, making it easy to fill multiple rooms without spending much at all. Care is very straightforward. Provide bright, indirect light for the best coloration. The more light it receives, the richer the purples and pinks will appear. Change the water once a week, and don't be afraid to trim it back often. Every piece you cut can go straight into water to create a fuller plant or start an entirely new one. Number 6. Arrowhead plant, also known as syngonium, the shapeshifter. Arrowhead plants get their name from the distinct shape of their young leaves, which resemble pointed arrowheads. As the plant matures, the leaves change shape, developing multiple lobes and taking on a completely different appearance. These plants come in a wide range of colors, from creamy white and soft green to deeper greens and even gentle pink tones. Arrowhead plants root very easily in water using stem cuttings. Just make sure you cut below a node and remove any leaves that would sit below the waterline. Place the cutting in clean water, and within about 2 weeks, roots will begin to grow. What really sets arrowhead plants apart is their adaptability. They tolerate low light conditions surprisingly well, although they grow best in medium to bright indirect light. They aren't very picky about water quality, but changing the water every 1 to 2 weeks keeps them healthiest. Their growth rate is just right, not so slow that they feel stagnant, and not so fast that you're constantly pruning. Here's where the money-saving aspect really comes into play. Arrowhead plants can become a bit leggy over time when they're grown in water, sending out long stems as they grow. Instead of viewing this as a problem, you can actually turn it into an advantage. When the plant starts getting too long or unruly, simply trim it back and use those cuttings to propagate new plants. You'll end up with several plants from a single original purchase, and the trimmed parent plant will grow back looking fuller and more compact than before. Number 7. Chinese evergreen, also known as aglaonema, the true low-light champion. Chinese evergreens are stunning plants known for their patterned leaves, which often feature mixes of green, silver, pink, and red. What makes them especially well suited for growing in water is their slow, steady growth and their ability to tolerate less than perfect conditions without any fuss. They're tough, adaptable, and very forgiving, even for beginners. To propagate a Chinese evergreen, take a stem cutting with at least 2 healthy leaves and place it directly into water. Then comes the hardest part, waiting. Chinese evergreens take longer to root than many of the other plants on this list, sometimes up to a full month. However, once roots finally form, these plants become incredibly low maintenance and easy to care for. Chinese evergreens handle low light conditions better than almost any other plant mentioned here. For best results, always use room temperature or slightly warm water, since they don't respond well to cold water around their roots. Change the water about every 2 weeks and keep the plant in low to medium light. Too much direct sunlight can actually fade and dull those beautiful leaf patterns, so softer light is ideal. From a money-saving perspective, Chinese evergreens are often sold as large, established plants with fairly high price tags. But if you can get a cutting from someone who already owns one, you can grow your own plant completely for free. Plant lovers share these cuttings all the time because they're so easy to propagate. Once your plant is well established, you can continue taking cuttings from it and keep that cycle going indefinitely. And that brings us to the end of the list. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the Still Growing Seniors channel for more simple, easy-to-follow plant care tips. Let us know in the comments which of these water-growing plants you're excited to try first. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps support the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.